In light of Google integration at Mount Royal University and just for the convenience overall, I picked a community on Google+, and following my interests, I wanted that community to be about snowboarding. There were lots of communities along these lines, but I joined the one with by far the most members. The first thing I noticed about my community was the simplicity behind it. The community makes everything accessible from one homepage using Google's interface with a simple captivating logo and slogan. This hub suggests organization by offering categories for users to post in. However, each category has less than 20 posts, while the discussion page has hundreds of recent posts. This is either because the members generally don't consider these guidelines, or because when a user quickly makes a post, it's automatically defaulted to the discussion page. The next thing I noticed was the generally open and friendly environment fostered by this community. Everyone receives a warm welcome and sincere support from strangers such as myself, and even from moderators who casually watch the community. Moderators are outnumbered more than 1,000 to 1, but they don't appear to be experiencing much of a struggle. In this instance, a moderator points out the successful growth of the group, and this proves some momentum. Most posts are relevant and gracefully recognized, and this has been nice to see. Hostility is rare in this community, and perhaps that's because this platform serves very little function to users who aren't interested in finding POW pictures or GIF videos. I've noticed this shared interest has developed a really supportive atmosphere, but of course being online it's impossible to avoid all negativity. At one point in my experience, one random member totally strayed from this trend of friendly and welcoming with this uncalled for comment. The group didn't even entertain this rudeness, and it seems the moderators also ignored it. I did see a moderator get into action when one online group used the snowboarding community for exposure. After linking and suggesting community members leave the page to see their content, one of the moderators expressed concern about the inconvenience behind this. This again demonstrated the group's shared value of simplicity. It's not like this moderation disturbed the openness of the community. In fact, pretty well all moderator activity was this casual. Some communities on Google Plus will post rules on their main page as a mechanism of control over its members, while my community sets no such standards. It seems like, just like on the mountain, the rules are mainly common sense and courtesy, and this technically allows for irrelevant posts and misconducts, which do exist, but as I mentioned earlier, they're pretty rare. The similarity between member behavior and behavior on the mountain was something I really appreciated in this group because it translates to an all-around respect for all levels of riders. This is illustrated by welcoming comments from experienced riders on a new member's first post. I felt comfortable posting honestly in a respectful group like this and enjoyed a mesh of so many perspectives. Another thing I became fond of in my community, the acceptance of culture. Rather than the wonderful ski bums I talk to, it's nice to hear from boys and girls of different ages and backgrounds who are just passionate about riding. Snowboarding is happening worldwide right now, and while I can reach riders in Alberta and BC relatively easily, this community gives me access to ideas from borders all around the world. I think this is great because it's helping to expand riding into new territories. On top of that, users like me get to learn neat things like the fact that there are snow resorts in South Africa, the last place I ever thought I could ride. I also enjoyed the quality of language around all this snowboarding content. I feel like most people are used to seeing snowboarders as figures like Shaun White providing monotone responses at the X Games. It's nice to see people posting content with some respect for quality of language, not to mention different languages. One member even wrote a poem about the sorrows of ending the season. Again, the community has a pretty open atmosphere and nobody would be punished for their use of language. Overall, I enjoyed interacting within this community. I enjoyed the opportunity to see how people are shredding in different countries, and this exposure gives me more to aspire to as a rider. I have the opportunity to entertain diverse perspectives, as well as exposure to some unique ideas members find in post. I felt a sense of gratitude when the community expressed interest in my posts, and that's been pretty cool. I think I'll stay active within this community, at least for next season.